What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. We're going to do a mic check. Make sure you can see us, make sure you can hear us, and then we will jump right into the show. Let us know if we're loud and clear in the chat. And we'll get rolling, guys.
Anybody.
Stephen Taylor says we're good.
Yep.
All right. Welcome to the 1 year anniversary of Hellbent Holler Live. We've been doing this show for a year now, and we really didn't plan on sticking with this kind of thing. It started out as a Q&A kind of live stream, and we just started doing it every week. We took off for a couple of weeks when we were house hunting and we bought our new house. So we kind of took a little sabbatical during that time. We didn't know if we'd come back to you, if you guys would still be around when we came back from that. We know we were gone for a couple of weeks. And boy, we came back and you guys just hit the ground running with it. We want to thank first and foremost you, the Hellbenders, for being a part of this Monday night ritual that we go through. You guys are such a big part of our lives and our lives that
I see what you did there.
Yeah, we've actually made a lot of friends through doing this. We are really, really blessed to have you guys in our lives. And we just want to thank you guys for being a part of this and really building kind of a weird, dysfunctional, divorcee, alcoholic,
ex-wife, and
insane community. Thank you guys. Here's to our first year and many more. So thank you guys so much. We got a lot of people in the house. We're going to have a lot more in a little while. But I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you. Joseph?
Yeah, I was actually talking to, not today, Saban, or like earlier today, and we were talking about the 1 year thing, and I was like, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to, I was not too keen on the YouTube thing in general, and you remember, I really wasn't too thrilled about doing a live stream.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, it's like the coolest thing we've ever done, just because we've actually gotten to know a lot of the people that chime in on like Mondays, and it's like the highlight of our week now. So, pretty cool. So,
kind of, we will kind of talk about throughout this episode, kind of our favorite things that we've kind of gone through over the past year and doing these, and all of our wonderful inside jokes that we all have, kind of favorite things throughout the thing. So if you guys have anything you want to talk about, it's a free for all. This is as much your show as it is ours. We just wanted to hang out with you guys, and that's what it's basically become. It's become the coolest Monday night hangout in the world.
It's the coolest live stream on YouTube.
Certainly the coolest cryptid or paranormal live stream on YouTube. That is for certain.
I will click onto other lives occasionally because I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I don't have a lot of time. But I will look at the live streams and I'm just going, like, everybody's freaking talking about the weather, and like there's nobody talking about like barges or helicopters or like gorilla pee.
What is this?
So,
but yeah, we'll kind of go over some of that stuff and kind of. Chris Norton is glad to see that your beard is back. Joe is himself.
Yeah, myself again. It got hot, man. I have like a little bit of an anger problem sometimes, and when I get irritated, I'm just like, we're just doing this. So I got really hot, and I just shaved my beard off, and then I looked half baked, so I came back and grew it at that point. So
Susan C said YouTube put up a 30-minute ad right as we came on the air.
Seriously, making money. So our boy Manu, you guys are the best, hands down, boots on the ground investigators. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We put a lot of time into what we do, a lot of effort, and I think that it has paid back in dividends in terms of what we have been able to show to you guys, what we've been able to present to you guys, and the people that we've met along the way, all of the stuff that you guys have brought us, all of the tips, all of the stories, all of the encounters, just a lot of stuff. And I mean, just us meeting Steve Causey and getting that kind of that booster. That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
The last time we went to the LBL, we crashed Stephen Taylor's house. We showed up at Stephen Taylor's house. He's one of our Hellbenders unannounced. What else has happened?
I think it's pretty much it. That was it over the past year. Just those 2 instances.
Cell booster and Stephen Taylor's us harassing Stephen Taylor at home. So, but yeah, it's been awesome. It's really been awesome. We've had a pretty wild week this week, haven't we?
We released a new video.
We released
where we
a
got
new
some
video.
Interesting thermal footage that we're still not quite sure what we saw.
So we've been putting out videos every Sunday at noon, and I think we're going to keep that up. I really enjoy doing that. I think you guys have really been enjoying the weekly videos as well. Somebody mentioned in a comment that they really like our weekly vlog style type videos. We go out every week. We're out in the woods without fail every single week, and you guys get to see that. Even if things aren't crazy, if we don't have a ton of evidence, I think we're still going to put out these videos because it's important to show you guys the process of us going out in the woods and us doing these investigations. However, this past week we got a weird thermal hit, right?
Yeah. Weird. So, and when you guys see those, keep in mind that if not a lot happens over the course of like a day or two, you're not going to get a long video. You know what I'm saying? We'll put something out, you know. Other times it's like maybe we just might have 1 or 2 strange things happen. Sometimes we don't have anything happen. Didn't you do a video out where not much happened at all, but the scenery looked cool?
Oh,
so we just kind of put it out.
Laughing Beast when we went out there scouting.
Yeah, we heard maybe some weird stuff, but not much happened. But we have a feeling that area is going to be prominent down the road.
Yeah, so it's good to
kind of an introduction to it. So
it's good to scout it. It's good to familiarize ourselves with the area and kind of familiarize you guys with the area, and get kind of some baseline stuff. I know in the fall, because that place is so audio centric, I think we've decided that we're going to wait till it gets a little cooler to really do in-depth audio stuff out there, because the bugs are so freaking loud that we go out there and our audio is just so corrupted by everything else that's going on in the forest. So we're going to wait till the bugs kind of die back a little bit before we hit the laughing beast and do hardcore audio stuff.
Or the Sasquatch room. People have actually been asking about this. It's weird because I never really thought the dark dives were that great because we didn't really prepare for any of them at all. We just kind of jumped on there and winged it the whole time. But a lot of people have been talking about dark dive. We basically did that last summer when we talk about this. We usually take like the hottest like 6-8 weeks of summer off just because it's brutal in this part of the country. And the bugs are too loud. We spend all of our time trying to stay hydrated. It's just a miserable experience. No matter what happens, we usually can't record it because the insects are so loud. But we didn't take the summer off. There's just too much stuff going on. We're getting too many reports of activity. So we might try to do like a couple dark dives a month, maybe, you know.
Yeah, I think that's something we've discussed. Maybe doing 1 or 2 a month and getting those out there. I don't want to do them live because this is our live thing. This is when we can interact with you. And when we do our dark dives, we kind of want it to be an information download and a conversation between Joe and I. And I think that's what we're going to just keep it at, and then release them as a podcast as well. I've also been kicking around the idea for another little thing I kind of want to do, and I might do it monthly. We've discussed this before a couple of times. Joe and I are huge fans of Art Bell, and I know many of you are as well, and you've been listening to Coast your entire lives. And I listen to the reruns constantly. I think Joe comes home from work and that's what's playing on the speaker in the living room through the house is just me just cleaning and doing stuff around the house, listening to Art Bell, old episodes of Art Bell. And right now I'm in the timeline of the Phoenix Lights. And what an exciting time 1997 was on the Art Bell Coast to Coast AM program. And but I'm thinking about, and we've discussed this before a little bit, doing an actual open line show, but doing it through StreamYard. So we would have a designated show. It wouldn't be on a Monday. I'm thinking about doing it on a Friday, maybe once a month. We'll do as sort of our own little tribute to Coast, Hellbent Holler open lines. And you guys, will put the link out in the chat. You guys can queue up. You can come in and talk about whatever you want on the chats. And if you get out of hand, we'll boot you. And
it might be entertaining though, man. That might be entertaining.
Well, out of hand, you know. But we'll,
so.
you know, we'll do it live. You know, I think that would be pretty awesome to do. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I gotta get myself a black turtleneck though. But just as kind of an homage to our boy Art Bell. And I think I want to start doing that maybe once a month. So if you guys want to do that, I'll give you fair warning before we do it. Probably be on a Friday night and just hang out for an hour or two, and we'll do open lines. You guys can come on here with us, and you guys can talk about whatever the heck you want to talk about, and we'll go into it.
Got a couple stuff coming up here real quick. Where Robert goes, what did you guys think about going out at night without scouting it in the day?
I'm not a fan.
But the whole purpose of it is that we're not fans of doing that.
Yeah.
And we're thinking that maybe
us being more uncomfortable
might have an effect on some of the weirder activity out there. So
yeah, I think that we give out some kind of like you give out kind of like a vibe, you know, that you put that energy out there that you're nervous about it. Because Joe and I are in the woods so much, we kind of get too comfortable, you know, like almost too comfortable in the woods sometimes.
I want to sidetrack here real quick. That is something that we've got to be aware of, because when we were out this past weekend, and here's the crazy part, I don't even remember what happened, but it was just like, it was one of those prints we found. We found those weird prints, and I just kind of went, all right, let's keep going. And you were like, we've got to record this. What are you doing? We got to film this. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess we should. It's like, I've got to watch out because I'm getting kind of calloused about some of this weird stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we're literally, keep in mind, we have weeks where nothing happens at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Even some of the stuff we experience and capture, like that thermal image, we don't know what it is. Okay?
In the Land Between the Lakes.
No, or the one in
the thermal video.
The thermal video that we just caught. We don't know what it is. But it's interesting. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're going to put it out there and let people make their own minds. We're not saying we captured a Sasquatch on thermal, but we're in the woods a lot by ourselves in sketchy areas with the intention of looking for weird stuff. So I've got to watch that, because sometimes I'm just kind of going, oh, well, you know, it's just another weird light in the woods at this point.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah. And it's out of the ordinary, but I guess you kind of get used to it.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, it's like this, like the perfect example is we were going down an old roadbed this past week, and we both saw like a bar of light go across from like left to right, like pretty high up in like about medium height on the trees. And Jessi and I are both like, did you see that? And she's like, did you film it? And I'm going, no, I just caught it out of the corner of my eye. And while we're standing there talking about it, it happens again while I'm like filming her and we're talking about it. We start going towards it, and then we just start seeing these weird tracks, and we just give up on the light, man. You know what I'm saying? We just focus on the tracks at that point. And then I'm just going later on going, man, we never did go investigate that weird light. You know, any other time that would be like the big thing for us at this point. So, all right, a couple other things here real quick.
Do you want to get to chats, or you want to talk about some other stuff?
I'm going through the chats. Yeah,
let's get some chats.
Get some chats.
Get some chats.
That's what I'm getting.
Let's chat it up. Oh, I'm going to throw our banner up too, by the way.
Throw that banner up there. I didn't have a funny tagline for us this week. I had a couple, but none of them really seemed appropriate.
I don't think anything is ever going to top liberal. What was it?
I can't remember.
Pagan lib scumbags.
Pagan lib scumbags. So, Overland One says, I don't know how you two keep up with this schedule, but we all enjoy it. Here's the deal, man. We ain't digging ditches out in the sun. You know, we ain't working on the railroad, anything like crazy like that. We're not bricklayers, but it is a pretty much just all right, I've got to rush now and go do this, rush now and go do this, rush now and go do this. So yeah, but you know what? It's like, it's oddly fun somehow, you know, it's oddly fun that when we took a couple of weeks off, didn't you feel kind of empty almost? Like
I
missing
felt
something
off.
So.
You know what? Another thing, everything was off with our lives. We were trying to, go through the process of purchasing a house. We were packing, we were moving stuff. Joe and I were eating Freddy's custard like every day because of the stress. We were just eating custard every day. Yeah. And it was just, it was a dark time, but you know,
Wasn't that dark? We were eating custard all the
We
time.
were eating
so.
custard and moving. But yeah, it was weird. It was definitely weird.
So, Chris Norton's like, do you ever find out what that tiny little weird light was in the woods? We see those pretty constantly nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So much so that we don't really get excited about them sometimes, but and then you've also got to do, you'll occasionally hear us on the video. Somebody had asked, why are you saying it's the moon? And I'm going, well, I'm saying it's the moon, but you're seeing in the video right now. So people don't go, oh my God, there's a light. You know, if we pick up the moon and we see it's the moon, we go, hey, that's the moon the camera's picking up. Right
and we
now.
had that
Nobody get
super moon
excited.
on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that thing was redonkulous.
But I will say that there are more anomalous lights in the woods than I ever thought possible.
Mhm.
You know, will-o'-the-wisps, ghost lights, spook lights, witch lights, whatever you want to call them. But there's a lot out there, man. As a matter of fact, that's by far the most common thing that we see out there nowadays. So, all right.
I know that Meandering Around with Johnny Jan says, never know if we see something on the videos that you might miss.
People do.
That happens
quite
all
a
the
bit.
time.
So much so that keep in mind when we go out and do this, if we're out 18 hours doing this, and that's going to be at least 18 hours of video if we're only running one camera. Thermal footage, if we're running a separate audio recorder, and then if we're running a second camera, that's even more.
Yeah.
And she does the lion's share of the like video review. I usually review the audio, but there's always a lot more video. So if you're like watching that much video and you just stretch and yawn, you might miss something at that point. So if you ever see something in there that you think is something and you want us to take a closer look at,
throw that timestamp up, which a lot of you already do.
Let me look. So
and that's how we found that thing, the jumper, the creature in the trees.
Or is it a leaf?
Or the leaf. That's how we found that leaf dancing in the trees, whatever it may be. That's how that came about. So yeah, so if you see something, let us know.
All right, so here's a good one. Robert Randolph asked, do you think that thermal hit was cryptid or a normal forest animal or person? I don't think it was an animal. It looked upright.
It did look upright.
It looked upright and it looked sizable.
There were trees around it, and if it was like a deer, you know, it wouldn't have been able to just be that little sliver. It would come out on the other side of some of those trees, I think.
And here's the other thing too, is that normally I would have immediately gone, somebody's watching us from the woods. There's somebody else out here. Now, keep in mind what we do generally, even we'll check out the areas that we go to. It's national forest, you know, so generally there's like designated, like, you know, areas. Now, somebody could park and hike in 30 miles away, you know, that's not inconceivable. But generally, people that are out there are going to drive out there like we do. There's no houses out where we go to generally. But I normally would have immediately defaulted to it's a person watching us, except for a couple of things. That's where we found that footprint at that we shared. That really one of, like, we don't find a lot of like Bigfoot footprints, or at least we didn't until we went into this area. That is where we've gotten some reports of Bigfoot activity. That's why we went there. And the other thing is that it was darker than hell out that night. And that is on the side of a hill, and that's really thick foliage and brush. I mean, really thick.
What's weird is the moon was bright.
Yeah.
It was so freaking dark.
Because the trees are so dense through there, man. And
all that rain we've gotten has just made all of the undergrowth just explode in the forest.
So we didn't hear it move away. Now, if it was a person and they knew we had a thermal imager and they already had I don't know, man. You start making leaps of logic like that. So I don't know what that was, but the only reason why I'm not immediately saying it's a person is because of the other factors that are involved with all this. So, all right.
Forgot to silence my phone. I am
amateur. You'd think after a year you'd have this stuff down, man.
It's
so
my mother. All right. I marked a couple on here too. I'm trying to catch up. You guys are just blowing through here.
These chats are popping.
Chats are popping. Make sure you unstar the ones that you've gone through too. Ronnie Moore said that we are the best looking live stream also.
Oh, I thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. So,
not want to make that face.
Yeah, and meandering around with Johnny Jans, I heard that quartz deposits, there's piezoelectric effect, however you pronounce it. That there's earth lights that people talk about. There's earthquake lights that people talk about. There are
people talk about ball lightning.
Yeah, but ball lightning's pretty
rare,
and it's pretty freaking extreme looking when you see it online of what at least people purport to be ball lightning. There is swamp gas. We have to admit it. There is swamp gas that occurs. There's that St. Elmo's fire effect. I mean, trust me, man, when we started like seeing these, we just did a deep dive and to try to figure out what they might be. None of those move intelligently. Remember the ones at the LBL were like appearing in front of us and we'd go towards them and then all of a sudden we couldn't find them and then they were behind us again.
Yeah.
And then remember we saw that batch coming down at us and we were like, they're coming right at us. And then they just disappeared all of a sudden. So
that was that really crazy live stream we did. In the
where you
LBL.
like zonked out. Like, so
yeah, that was wild. That was probably like our first big like live stream investigation we ever did. Yeah, we won't be doing that.
We won't be doing that again. So
at least not open and publicly.
Marcus Aurelius, thank you. First $9.99 donation of the new year of Hellbent Holler Live.
I cannot believe that we've been doing this.
It's been up for a year, man. That's crazy. So, why are Dogman and Bigfoots often seen around old cemeteries?
People often say that cemeteries are just like liminal spaces. It's the place between life and death. And
define liminal space for those in the audience who don't know what a liminal space is. So,
well, liminal spaces are those places of transition.
In between, like a bridge or
it's like I said, it's between, that's the passageway between life and death is a cemetery. And so when you think about those liminal spaces that are passages, bridges, stairwells can even be considered liminal spaces. Those passageways or those areas of travel, it could also be considered a portal area, I guess. There's a lot of charged energies in those areas. And if you think that there's some kind of connection between Bigfoot and Dogman and paranormal activity, like ghosts or anything like that, then you would think that they would all kind of be gathering in that kind of area. So I think that's my 2 cents on it. I don't know if it's... We don't really know.
We don't really know. But thank you for that, Marcus. We appreciate that. So,
I didn't know what kind of give the textbook definition of a liminal space.
Liminal space. So,
place between.
Just wanted to know that last run you guys did, that last day run, that and the LBL, and you found that little. I think you're talking about that little kid's jacket in the abandoned campground.
Oh yeah.
There are lots of stories of people going missing in there, and it kind of gets hushed up a little bit. That area surrounding it it's kind of depressed economically, Martin Groves talks a lot about some stuff like that goes on down there. We have never been able to find anything like that. Now, does that mean that, and here's the deal, you've got to default to the simplest like possibility. Maybe there was somebody down there and they just lost their jacket, that campground's been closed down for years, but you know what? Maybe a family.
That campground has been closed down decades.
Yeah, but maybe a family walked down there and the kid dropped their jacket. But we have not found anything for a missing kid there, but we have heard a lot of rumors that are not substantial.
And also the huge problem with the Land Between the Lakes at that time, that all was recorded in February.
Yeah.
And, a year prior to that was that huge tornado that came through there.
Yeah.
And that's what we think led to a lot of people living in the woods out in the LBL. There's a lot of aftermath and a lot of fallout after those tornadoes went through. A lot of people went missing and nobody knows what happened to them. Entire families kind of disappeared. After any kind of natural disaster, people just go missing. How many people did you never hear from again after Katrina?
Tons.
Tons.
And you never knew what happened to them.
And you never knew what happened to them. So the waters can get muddied when you've got the addition of a natural disaster into the mix when it comes to missing people.
How about Central Florida Bigfoot? Just had Bill Munns on talking about the Patterson-Gimlin film. We were out in the Oconee Forest in a clearing with the phone held above my head, walking around trying to get enough signal to catch little bits and pieces of it. But we've got to sit down and kind of rewatch it at this point. So anyway, Norton wanted
So what did he say?
I wanted if you could do that She-Hulk pose one more time. So.
We got video. We're experimenting with different lighting, and Joe was using a green light, and so we got some really good video of my.
But
She-Hulk.
She does look very She-Hulkish. So, all right. So let's see here. Sunday's Dark Dive was very nice. Let's see here. Chris Lindbergh asked, what's up with September 23, 2023? This date is in a lot of movies in The Simpsons. Is there a conspiracy theory that's like something getting ready to happen?
I don't know.
I don't know. Write that down.
I'm going to take a look at the...
Take it down. So...
Conspiracy.
Stephen Taylor wants to know if we've ever seen foxfire. We've seen weird lights. We've seen that kind of glow, that St. Elmo's fire, kind of foxfire glow before. That might be natural. But the weird lights that kind of like move independently like that. I'll be honest with you, some of them, and we've caught some of them on camera, have looked almost like the Tic Tac, but like on the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Jessi's got to release our stuff from when we went to Lost Cove, North Carolina, and we were hiking out. We saw them just like coming in, going out, coming in, moving, going out. It was just like a little fireworks show on the ground there. It was crazy.
Yeah, and they responded to us as well. That was pretty wild. Yeah, I do have that Lost Cove footage. That's from January of 2020. Maybe about 4. Yeah, 2020.
Mark this down. Bronwyn says, you need to do, it's just Swamp Gas, Hellbent Holler t-shirts. That's what you should do. So
my show notes.
I'm just going to put that up without commentary. Anyway.
People talk about lightning parts as well. Oh.
Yeah, there you go. So, talking about your theory on iron and the land at LBL, how the iron has been taken out by the iron industry.
So I discussed that on Nightcaller's Bigfoot Radio. We did that this past Wednesday with Lauren Smith. Nightcaller's Bigfoot Radio has been around forever. It was a real honor for us to go on that show and be able to have that conversation with Lauren. It was a really good time. I think that was probably one of our best appearances we've ever made on somebody else's
I did a great job
show.
On that. I know.
Joe did a great job. Number one. I think that's the most important. A lot of y'all showed up for that. We really appreciate you guys being in the chat for that and checking that out. If you haven't checked that out after the show today, go and check that out on Nightcaller's Bigfoot Radio. I think we have the most views on that channel now.
Well,
don't
look
we?
at you keeping score there, man. So all right. So.
But we've got a lot of views on that. Everybody seems to really like it. Everybody seems to be pretty jazzed about it. On that episode, I do discuss my kind of working theory that I'm kind of throwing out there about the reason there is so much supernatural activity at the land between the lakes, that I think it has something to do with the mining of the iron ore at the land between the lakes. Now, let's wait for 10 other people to say that that's their brand new shining idea.
Yes.
But, so I'm working on that theory because I'm obsessed with weird old timey stuff like barges,
balloons.
The iron ore industry.
Yes.
We went and saw some hot air balloons over the weekend on Friday, and it was absolutely wonderful. I had the time of my life. But so I think I'm going to explore that theory a little more in depth with a project coming up.
Jason Griswold, F the NDMP. I think he means that. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, we had a little drama this week. Thank you for that, by the way.
Somebody asked earlier about some drama over
Yeah, we had some drama this week.
Yeah.
Basically what happened, I'm just going to go and say it. That's all right. because I'm
Go for
the
it.
irritated one.
Let's address the Dogman in the room.
One of the NADP groups, like Region 3 or whatever, I don't even know where that is, did like a documentary using like some of our footage, and then they got in touch with us after the fact going, hey, we used y'all's footage for this, you know, but that's okay, we gave you a shout out in it, and I'm like, who gave you permission to use our footage, man? You know. So I went from mildly irritated to when the half-assed excuse, it's not that big a deal, we're sorry, you know, it's just a mistake, and I'm just going, then I got pissed off. So
He had no intention.
So I got pissed off after that and was ranting, and then took the rant down because I'm arguing online like a kid.
And they used footage of us,
Not just our footage, but of us. And then we're just like, oh, you know, it's just a mistake, you know. And I'm going, that documentary was up on your groups for like days, and none of y'all had a problem with it. No,
Yeah.
At no point did anybody go.
But we're not associated with them in any kind of way. And now apparently they've stolen my footage.
Yeah.
Stolen my footage, put it in their documentary, and it's also stealing footage of us. So it's us in one of their things.
And it's crazy because we like keep to ourselves a lot during all this, man, you know? And it's like you can't escape drama in this field no matter how much you try. But anyway, we're going to hunker down even more after that. But yeah, I was pissed. I went from being irritated to just when all of the basically it sounded like what McDonald's corporate office would tell you if you contacted them about your, you know, drive-through order taking too long. You know, we here at McDonald's are it was just this fake canned like BS. And I'm going, come on, man, y'all are people. Just talk to me like a person, you know, just go, this is screwed up. We're kicking the guy out. We're very sorry this happened. You know, he shouldn't have done this. It's not that big a deal. You're kind of overreacting, you know. I'll react however the hell I want. So I'm the one running around in the woods with a camera at 3 o'clock in the freaking morning while they're like posting, you know, werewolf memes on Facebook groups. But that's enough of that. Grace, thank you for the $20, and don't give up on the helicopter dream. So thank you, Grace. We appreciate it. So, all right.
You know what? We'll get that helicopter.
We will get that helicopter now.
And you know what we'll also get? A real dog. Not a Photoshop dog.
A real dog. Encrypted Connections, $4.99. Thank you, buddy. 1 year and your egos are this big. Hate to see you 5 years from now. All jokes aside, you deserve all the success you've had and more. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate that. So
you keep up that bribery, you're gonna get more than a wrench, buddy boy.
Yes, indeed, sir. So
all this flattery and bribery you got going.
Shea Viking, $20. I'm a hellbender. That's pretty
awesome.
Good, actually. That's actually pretty good. Thank you, sir. So you know what? It means just as much, though. Just a little bit of praise. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job, Joe.
Great job, Joe.
Great job, Joe.
Central Florida Bigfoot says I'll have to get out to the LBL next year for sure. We would love to go out to the LBL with you. Because whatever happens, you're going to be the one that gets injured. So
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you're the injury magnet for everything like that. So I'm going to probably feel the safest I've ever felt in the LBL ever.
You're just going to take him.
Take him. All right. Federation Systems. Do you fund the NADP? I don't think they're funded real well, man. It's mostly just an online organization.
They can't even afford a real dog.
I know. Hitting that nonstop.
Although you do save money not feeding a Photoshop dog.
That is true.
Yeah.
Damn.
Save a lot of money not feeding a Photoshop dog. So.
Well, we had a question. Have you ever ran into any other people in any other places you've been to? Generally, no, because here's why. We'll scout an area before we go into it. And if we don't go to places where there's like natural features, like really popular hiking paths or campgrounds or anything like that, we usually go to old places. You know, as you can tell, old forestry roads are like a big deal for us. So, you know, they're easy to kind of move through. They usually lead you to areas where there's old settlements or like old houses used to be at. We will occasionally, the one time I'm thinking of is we were in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina, and we hear something busting through the brush, and it was almost dark. We thought like a bear was coming out at us, and this freaking couple, like a man and a woman, come out. Remember that? They came out of that thicket, and they asked you where that trailhead was. They
were on like a date.
Yeah, they had gone on a hiking date and gotten lost, and they were arguing the whole time.
And they were not dressed for hiking.
They were not dressed for hiking. They had no backpacks, no water, no nothing. And
not proper footwear.
They asked, "Where's this trailhead at?" And I go, "I don't know where the hell that trailhead is." And she's from that area, so she goes, "You guys are like miles away from that. How did you get here?" And they just start arguing again.
And I was like, "You can go this way."
And then they're yelling at her, and I'm just like, "All right, we're gonna."
And then they go the opposite way that I told them to go.
We're trying to offer them water. And they won't, they're just, leave us alone. I mean, they're just so
They go the opposite way that I told them to go. And then if you look on the map, the way that they went is one of the most difficult trails in the Mountain Bridge Wilderness area. It is a ball buster and a heartbreaker.
So we got back and actually called the ranger station, gave them this is literally, we called back and gave them their description.
There's some people on a Tinder date.
And went, "Hey, listen, if you guys find a vehicle that is maybe at one of these trailheads that nobody picks up," we ran into this couple. They looked like this. They were not very prepared. They didn't want any help. We never know what happened to them, but generally we don't really run into people like that. So anyway.
Sorry, I was trying to hit more comments.
What the fuck, our boy? There's no shortage of, and you know what there is, and you guys watch this every week, man. We laugh off. We got irritated when somebody called the cops on us at the LBL and made false accusations. But even then, we've laughed about it since then. You know, we generally laugh stuff off, and we don't get involved in a lot of the arguing and everything like that. And it's just not something we do because it's a time issue. B, it's annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm like tuning into like something cryptid related, I want to hear two things. I want to hear cryptid related stuff, or I want to hear how awesome I am. That's what I want to hear. That's what the people want to hear. But it's annoying, but this one irritated me. This one got me. So
sickitated. Jenna McIntyre's.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Go.
Jenna McIntyre says maybe a drone would help you scout an area before walking it. That footage would be so killer to watch. We are going to get a drone eventually. We need one with collision avoidance. Because
the last one didn't have collision avoidance, and it needed collision avoidance.
Yeah, because it's in a tree in North Georgia now. So when we get another drone, we're going to get one that's a little easier to fly and has collision avoidance.
That one we were trying to launch it from a mountain in North Georgia, and the wind just went crazy. And I would like to think that forces beyond the ken of man interfered with my controller, but I just think it was just that
maybe it was caught on a plume of swamp gas.
Yes, indeed. All right. So, damn. All right. What do we got?
I'm trying to go through some of these.
Of course, Central Florida Bigfoot said, "I didn't tell you I fell off my bike last Sunday. Hurt the same leg." There you go. So,
Jesus.
All right. Hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and mention this right now. Unknown World asks, where can I get one of those Hellbent Holler hats? We don't really sell merchandise, but we had a few things done up by the Deuster and D did us up a few pieces of like merchandise. So we have a couple of Hellbent Holler hats, and
these are embroidered by the hands of the Stitch Witch herself. She's embroidered these with the Hellbent Holler logo, so that is stitching. It's not printed on there. It is embroidered on there. It's a high quality piece of gear right there. It's an adjustable cap, as you can see. I'm gonna Vanna White this bad boy. Joseph, carry on.
So at the end of the show, not now, at the end, if we see anything posted before the show ends, we're just gonna kick it out. But at the end of the show, go make a comment in the comment section, not the live chat, comment section. Just say, I want the hat. I want some stuff. Enter, something like that. We're going to draw some names and give away the 2 hats we have. And we're going to do some t-shirts and like celebration of like the 1 year, anniversary of it.
So we're going to repeat these rules one more time. After the show tonight, go in after the show. The episode will be posted to our YouTube channel. Go into the comments section. Say, I want the hat. Give me the hat. Enter. Contest. Anything. Whatever you want to do. We are going to go and draw and contact you, and you get a hat or a t-shirt or stack of stickers or whatever. But we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of Hellbent Holler Live, and we want to give away a bunch of stuff. These hats are 2 of a kind right now, right?
2 of a kind. And they are, and if you like them and you need stuff done, Dewey and D. Edwards.
Yep.
They've got like a little shop. They do stuff. This is like really, really awesome. But yeah, do it at the end of the show. Just do something on there, and we will probably do it tomorrow. What do you want the cutoff to be?
We can do it. We can do it tomorrow or Thursday, whatever you want to do.
Like do
because some people need to catch up. You know.
Do it Thursday.
Thursday.
What
I'm working Thursday.
You are working Thursday. So. Friday. Nah, it's way too long.
Okay. Do what you want then. I don't care.
We'll let you know when the cutoff is here. This was kind of like a.
You can do it tomorrow if you want.
We'll see. We'll get everybody.
Joe's bored now. He's lost interest in the
I've
whole
lost
project.
interest in it now. So. All right, this was a good one. Craftmaster 23. Because Kyle and I were talking about this earlier. With all the safety vests you've been finding, I'm now convinced most people who do road construction are werewolves. That is such a random thing to find in the woods, because here's the deal. Where we go to, the area we were just in that found that one, there's no hunting there. There's no hunting allowed. And poachers are not really going to wear reflective vests. You know? That's not a usual like hiking or camping item. So I don't know why we keep finding those. It's weird because that's like what, the 3rd or 4th one we found at this point, like out in the middle of the woods.
I guess the reflective nature of them make it easy for us to come across.
Yeah, they're easy to find, but how the hell did they get there in the first place? So I don't know.
I got startled because my flashlight hit it. You can see me kind of jump whenever I find it. Is my flashlight hits it and I get that reflection back. I mean, at first I thought it was like ice shine, but then it's on the ground, obviously. So I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, maybe road workers are dogmen.
Maybe they're getting all right. Let's get crazy with it.
Let's get crazy.
Some of the missing 411, some of the stranger cases have involved people that were doing road work in rural or kind of isolated areas, and then all of a sudden the one guy looks around, the other one's gone. Okay. Now, we haven't seen any stories of that happening up where we're at that we're aware of. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. It's just a random weird thing to find out in the woods. So, all right.
Not today, Saban is really obsessed with your butt. Just want to say that. I just want to throw that out there. A lot of comments from Saban about your butt today.
He knows what's up. So
we have these private messages I should know about.
So all right, I just completely
lost it.
All right, there we go. So Mo Capalot, and I think, did you ask that earlier? Well, you did ask that earlier. I'm sorry. What's the scariest thing that's happened to you guys while out in the woods? What's the scariest thing that's happened to you in the woods?
Probably the bluff charge thing was pretty scary. Because you could hear me scream on that one. That scared the crap out of me. I was very scared. Seeing that really dark figure at the LBL a couple of times at this point, that gave me a bad adrenaline dump. That was really scary. But that happened during the day. The bluff charge happened in the middle of the night. So I guess that was pretty terrifying. The coming down that trail and seeing that freaking wolf or whatever, that strange white wolf in the middle of the trail, that was scary. That was pretty terrifying because I was like, I'm out here with a very strange looking solid white wolf. I got that on camera too. That was pretty.
I don't know what mine would be, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think.
God, you remember what was it? Dark Side of the Mountain. That was one of the first little series we did. This was early on in us having the channel. We were going to camp out in area.
The lights were insane.
Brother,
insane,
my brother in Christ, behind our tent was that freaking symbol,
the sigil.
The
handprint.
That was weird. Behind our freaking tent. Yeah. There was like no way we were going to camp out there that night. And then we loaded everything up, got the heck out. So, God, we've had a lot of scary stuff happen.
We have had a lot of scary stuff happen. So, all right. Chris Woodbooger Nelson. New subscriber.
That's a convenient middle name.
Yeah, it is. There you go. It worked out well. All right. All right, here's the flip side of it. Daniel Calabrese, what's the best thing you've seen in the woods? As far as exciting goes, brown mountain lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like
Yeah.
a kid in a candy store that night, man.
Oh my God, that was great. That was fantastic.
Mhm.
That the portal thing.
Portal
from
thing
A
was
Burning
probably
Light.
me. So yeah.
And you can hear my voice in that one too. I'm like running. I'm about to fall down the mountain
Yeah.
or the hill because I'm running back to the car and I'm going, that was fantastic. That was fantastic. I'm just losing my freaking mind.
Cheryl saying, do you guys use heat devices? I'm assuming you mean thermal binoculars. Yeah, we've got one basic one that we don't really use hardly anymore.
We do
And
bring
then-
that to events for people to kind of
Look
pass
through
around
and
and
kind
look
of
at.
see that I've never ever like used a thermal. And then we've got two. We've got like a really nice pulsar, and then we've got a really nice AGM that we're using right now. So,
Use televisions. How you doing, man?
Oops,
Oh, sorry.
sorry. Go hit that again. So.
He said, keep your health checked. A lot of boots on the ground researchers have passed in the past few years from usual health problems. We're going to talk about this because last week somebody said the exact same thing to us. And we were like, oh, well, we try to stay healthy and all this other stuff. We exercise and eat well and all this stuff. I went out to light the grill to make dinner after the show last Monday.
Yes, right after you just went, oh, well, we are so healthy and we're going to live forever.
I went out to light the grill and the igniter wasn't working. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I got to get the freaking lighter and light the grill so I can grill dinner. And I guess I left the gas on and I go inside and I get the lighter and I come back and I'm go to lift the grate and test the lighter. And the freaking grill literally explodes in my face.
I hear her scream and then I just hear her go, I have been injured. Like
I run through the back door.
I have been injured.
Luckily, my hair was braided and still wet from me taking a shower before the show. It was braided. Otherwise, I would have very short hair right now because a fireball, like a literal fireball, came and up into my face because the grill just basically exploded into my face. And I singed my eyebrows. I singed my eyelashes. And but I live to fight another day. So hopefully we don't get killed by some freak accident. Hopefully we just get eaten by a dogman or something.
The government hires werewolves to do road work because they work during the day and in the full moon. Job gets done quicker.
That's good.
There you go. So real quick, Shelley Vidal had asked, she had to leave the room and wanted to know what's going on with the giveaway. After the show is done, in the comment section, not in the live chat, not while the show is going on, after the show is done, please leave a comment and just say, I want the hat, enter the contest.
Gives me hat,
something like that. We're going to do, we have 2 hats to give away and we have a couple of t-shirts. So we're going to do a giveaway in honor of our, nothing major, but still just a little something just because everybody's always asking about the hats. So.
Yeah, hats, t-shirt. We got some swags. We're gonna do some swag tossing. Okay. So you just put something in our comment section about in t-shirt, hat, whatever. And then we are going to do a draw. And some of you lucky Hellbenders are gonna get some cool Hellbent Holler merch.
Somebody was talking about this, that you need a hat cam.
I like that idea.
We were actually talking about that just because when we saw the light in the woods and we didn't have the camera and we both kind of looked at it, and I'm still, what you have to look at is that, let me give you guys some insight into like the reality of doing this, that when you see people with like, we're busting through the brush a lot of times, we're sometimes like crawling up the sides of hills. And a lot of times having cameras in certain areas just don't work. You also have to, we're out there for like a long time. Sometimes we're out there for like a couple days. GoPros, action cams, and all that go through batteries really quickly. So you've got to run external power to it. That's why you see us using those Phasm cams with that little stick on it. But what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to rig a hat cam up for Jessi. And we've just got to figure out how to run the power cable and where to put the external power source.
But I think we could do it.
Yeah, we just got to have it done so that when we go through the brush, it doesn't pull the cable out. And then we don't realize it in the heat of the moment. And then later on, we go to review the footage and we go, oh, hell, remember when we ran through the trees? Well, your camera came unplugged and it died 15 minutes later and we don't have any footage.
So I just thought about exactly what it's going to be like. You guys ever watch those YouTube channels of people attaching cats with cameras to cats?
Jesus Christ, that's exactly what
like
it's
the
gonna be
feral
like.
cats
So,
and like in the videos. That's exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to look like feral cat cam. You're even going to hear and I'll
Kevin
fight a
Close
cat.
said he saw 2 orbs come out of the woods in 2015. I mean, they're out there, man. I mean, people have asked, they're going like, A, how do you guys get like all of this stuff? B, well, let me say, first off, comparatively speaking, it ain't that much stuff. Considering how much time we spend in the woods, our strikeout, we ain't batting too high of an average there with this stuff. And we'll be the first to say that sometimes we can't say what it is. It might have a mundane explanation. But we're out there specifically looking for weird stuff. So we put it out there and let people make up their own minds for it. Some stuff that I stand beside is that weird thermal image in the LPO, the portal UAP thing. There are certain things that there's no mistaking what they were. Well, I can't say what they were because we don't know what they were, but there's no mistaking that they're not normal. Does that make sense? So, lost my train of thought. Damn. Getting old, Jess.
Did you say something?
Jesus Christ. Anyway, but we put that stuff out there, but we don't really have. The reason why we have is what we do have is that A, we're out there a lot. B, we're going into places where people aren't at. We're not going down hiking paths. We're not going around campgrounds. We're going into sketchy areas with some kind of paranormal, like old cemeteries, you know, the remnants of old settlements, stuff like that. And then we're taking the equipment to capture it. And even then, we're not capturing everything that we experience, you know, but we're capturing a pretty good chunk of it. So it's nothing special. It's just, it's the fact that we're out there a lot and we're taking the stuff to try to capture what we're experiencing. So
Cheryl Singh asks, have you guys investigated mines or caves? Nope. No. And we're not going to. I don't want to go into a cave. I have no desire to go into a cave. The claustrophobia factor will flip me out. If my blankets are too heavy on me in the bed, I kind of start losing my freaking mind. So I'm not a caver. I'm never going to be a caver. It's just not in the cards for me.
Guy we know up north of us,
he has been going into caves.
He sent me cave footage last night. He's nuts. He's going into these caves, crawling like on his stomach. He's running into some like really weird kind of occult stuff up through there. Yeah, he does a lot of cave stuff. I'll have to see if he's updated his YouTube channel and put a link up to it. But anyway.
Scott Yeager says, Joe and Jessi, the scariest place had to be some of those ritual sites that you two came across. People in the woods scare me more than any cryptid.
Well, that sigil or that glyph or that hex mark that we found behind the tent with that handprint into it, that was weird. That was dark and disturbing. And
we were still very early on in this journey. We were still very early on in this, so we had not experienced all the crap we have experienced at this point. So I guess it really flipped us the hell out. I mean, it flipped me out right now too. But we weren't as experienced as we are in the woods now at that point. And we had not really been exposed to as many crazy things as we have at this point. So that did flip us out pretty bad. That was in that area where that hiking gear was thrown up in that tree. So, but yeah, that was probably our first big weird investigation. That was a classic, man. That was a classic. We need to go back up to that area.
Yeah.
We are working on a plan for our Halloween special right now. So I think we are going to have something really interesting for the Halloween release. So keep your butts on your seats for that one. But we're working on an idea for that now and a place to go. So we will be doing something for Halloween, of course. We are the Hellbent Holler.
Light the freaking grill for Jessi, please. Listen, man, she grills. She doesn't like to cook like meat inside the house. So I'm used to her going out there and doing it. But yes, you are correct. I should have gone out and lit that grill. So,
Joe was very busy watching something on TV.
On TV, it's extremely busy. So, but anyway, people are still talking about the hat cam for you. We're gonna try to do it up so that it doesn't become dislodged with a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna run a back-facing camera and then put the footage up and have all of you guys go, this is garbage. And I'm going to go, yeah, I know. That's why we don't do a back-facing camera. Scott Carpenter, rest in peace. He was on structured hiking trails in the Smoky Mountain National Forest, pretty level, opened. I mean, everybody's seen him doing it. He's passing other hikers. He caught some crazy stuff up there. But the terrain was a lot different than what we operate in, and that worked for him. I'm going to do it one night, and then I might just take the footage and just throw the footage up. If it's like, do it for like 6 hours and then have everybody complain that it's like unwatchable and go, yeah, exactly right. So, all right. Kentucky Boy had mentioned, just noticed that you guys had your website link posted for contact. Yep, our email's down there. We usually hella behind on the email, but send us an email if you want to. I will say, if you were sending us YouTube links, we're getting like...
Don't send us videos of stuff.
Unless it's something that maybe it touches upon what we've discussed something. But we're getting like 20 or 30 like YouTube videos a day.
We can't watch YouTube videos.
Of just like...
I just don't have time.
If it's something crazy that kind of matches up with some of the weird stuff we talk about.
Yeah.
Thank you, Catherine Gay, for that $10 super sticker. Thank you so much.
Catherine Gay, I hope you are safe in your travels this weekend.
Oh, that's right. She was at everybody was at the Dogman conference in Texas. We did not go because we could not arrange our lives to go, but I'm glad that everybody was able to go and have a good time. It looks like it was good stuff.
Patty G has a suggestion. Jessi can braid a hat camcord into her pigtail and run it to her chest rig.
Actually, not a bad idea. Jesus. All right. That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's really not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea at all. Thank you for that. All right. So.
Thank you, Patty G.
What the flock? Had a white wolf run across the freeway in front of me last night. Okay.
What?
It was probably a husky, but it still startled me. I put that up before I read the whole thing. So, all right.
Central Florida Bigfoot says helmet cam is best practice 100%. All right.
It's just that at night, because we do most of our stuff at night, and we use night filming to film stuff at night. You can buy a cheapo camcorder off of like Amazon for $100-$200, and it looks like hell, and the audio sucks, right?
Yeah.
We just experimented with like 3 of them, and none of them worked at all for us. None of them worked. None of them worked. So you can use a big, expensive camcorder, which we're going to get another one of. It's going to be our next big expenditure. We use the camcorder we have right now. It's what we're filming on right now. So if we break that in the woods, there's no more live streams. We don't want to stop doing live streams. So our other options are the Phasm cams that you guys see us use. Those cameras that have the pink tinge to them. They're full spectrum cameras.
They're the size of a GoPro.
Yeah, about the size of a GoPro. And they record, they're full spectrum. They're not just infrared like night vision is. They go from ultraviolet through visible light into infrared. However, they need an external infrared or ultraviolet power light source to go along with them. So it's not as easy as just having that camera up there. You've now got to have a camera and an infrared light source and external power running to them. So we're going to be able to do it during the daytime. At nighttime, I don't know how we're going to do it yet. I was messing with some GoPro parts the other night, just kind of trying to get an idea of how to do it, but I just don't know how to do it. So, Jill Jade, you might not be batting a high average, but at least you're not faking stuff like TV shows do. We don't have to sell commercial time for like cat litter and like adult diapers. So we don't have to, we can put out a video and just go, nothing much happened on this, but we had a cool outing. You guys check it out. And people can watch it. They cannot watch it. We might have stuff happen and we go, this was kind of weird. We're not sure if it's like mundane or maybe it was something weird. We'll put it out there and let you guys describe it. Let's figure out what it is. So.
Kevin Close says, if I'd seen people in the woods doing a ritual, I'd probably have to beat them up. So there's going to be a local news story about a man beating up a local pagan group.
Yeah, exactly. He just came out of nowhere.
We were having a flower ceremony.
Moran's Cruz said, my husband's been hunting and dogs would run back to the truck. His grandpa would say, not a good night to go hunting.
I would have to agree with that. That your animals tend to know when something's awry. In our old house, our cats used to kind of go nuts.
Yeah.
like something in the house all the time.
Ultraviolet, I believe y'all's evidence a lot more than some of the other researchers' stuff. We don't watch a lot of other channels just for like a time sake thing. Usually we don't even really read or watch a lot of like cryptid or paranormal stuff. Jessi, what was that you're reading? Dark Matter Monsters is what you were reading? We'll read stuff like that kind of go into like the weird, like esoteric and scientific stuff that we kind of like explore with some of the weirder stuff out there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, and we'll put stuff out sometimes, and we'll even we don't know what that was. That might have been this. We'll put it out there, let you guys look at it, let you guys make up your own minds for it. But like that thermal image we caught, we're not going to sit here and tell you we caught a Bigfoot caught on thermal. We caught something on thermal. Yeah, that's what we're saying. We caught something. Was it a creepy person who moves really quietly through the woods and was stalking us? Well, that's pretty freaking scary in of itself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
Now we're out there looking for serial killers in the woods, man. So
Chuck Gonzalez says, would you do cams in front of caves or small openings? We're trying to gauge our comfortableness around caves and small openings.
Stingray used to be a cave diver? No way. Are you kidding me right now? He used to be a cave diver? It's really scary.
He's an international man of mystery.
Yeah, man.
Matt Keenan says a hat cam on Jessi is only going to give us waist height view.
That much true. Those of you who've met Jessi. So
well, just to make Saban happy, I'll walk behind you.
There you go. There you go. Kill two birds.
Mirren's crew says Hellbent howler, not chicken.
I put mine off.
Are you drunk, Mirren's crew?
So I just got this, and it is a Work Tough Gear Sylvanus. I like it because it's a recurve and it's got anus in the name. So we got that going for me.
Happy anniversary, everyone.
Yes.
I've got what do I have 15 of? I have an SE3. This is another one of my custom SE3s. I have a bunch of SE3s, Jessi with an SE, but it is SE3. Oof. This guy has a OD green blade and extended orange scales, and I have a custom Arbutus carry sheath for it in this really weird blaze orange, gray, and white honeycomb pattern, which is really neat. This is probably my most flamboyant knife combo that I have, but that is my SE3.
Deer in Headlights says, I'm a member of everything on the internet, and you are 4 stars out of hopefully 4 out of 4. Hopefully we're not missing a star for something like that. Shelly DeFidel said, I saw the thermal images you got when you were out last time. That was bizarre. And I don't know. It's upright. It's giving off heat. It moved out of the way. First we were thinking it was like maybe there were some trees out giving off heat, but there were no trees. That was not on the edge of the woods. It had not, even the trees that were on the edge of the forest hadn't soaked up heat and were doing that. It was like a very just weird, anomalous heat blurb in the middle of a very thickly forested hillside. So I don't know. But I mean, at the same token, I don't know. It seemed thick-bodied. It seemed upright. It wasn't small. Maybe it was. Maybe somebody was out there watching us. You know what I'm saying? So, and then they were just moving through the woods at night with no light. And I don't know.
How did they get out there? If there was
I don't know,
no mode of transportation out there whatsoever.
What the Flock says, you admit these experiences are crap. I agree. I just want to be left alone in the woods. I don't know what experiences he's talking about, but that's all right.
Flat Squatch says, serious questions. Do you think that the poo and other a lot of crap going on right now? Do you think the poo and other stuff on the headstones and that one cemetery was a ritual desecration of sorts, sort of shitting on the dead? Kind of creepy.
I didn't think that at the time, but now that you mentioned
I did not think about that kind of thing.
I didn't think that at the time, but you might be right. I was just thinking
that's going to stir up some angry.
Yeah, because at the time I was just thinking that it was people being trash balls because
there's a lot of those in the
people
LPL.
do trash ball stuff. But now that you're mentioning that didn't dawn on me at first, and that might very well be I don't know. That's weird. Okay, so all right.
Robert Randolph says, is it possible that people doing satanic rituals have conjured the Dogman into this dimension if the Dogman is not a physical animal? We think that, I don't know if it's necessarily Dogman. We don't know what it is in that North Georgia area, but there's definitely something up there. And with the appearance of that, what I'm calling the portal from the Burning Light video, it looks like we found evidence of ritual activity going on up there. And then Joe sees these figures going around this portal thing. And then the next day when we come back to get our readings, that thing is up in the trees. And we found a lot of crazy footprints and had a lot of really weird experiences up there. So we don't know if these rituals are bringing these creatures or these entities forward, or if these things are drawn to an area because of the rituals, or if they have nothing to do with each other, they're just drawn to the area at the same time. We don't know, but it's a good exercise to kind of think about the possibilities of what these things could be.
And a few years ago, talk like that, I would have thought it was just crazy talk, and now I'm just going, it might be. So Daniel Calabrese asked, do you think the government's watching your channel? I mean, we're small potatoes, man. I mean, let me put it to you like this. It doesn't, when you get down to it, no matter what we catch or film or record or catch anywhere, the vast majority of the population is just going to go, it's fake, CGI, AI, They did it. It's just not, I don't think they need to do that much to try to cover stuff up. So
no. Daniel Calabrese says, do you think the government is watching your channel?
What I just did.
Oh.
Are we in a time loop? Oh my Lord. So what? So
did you really just do that?
I did just did that.
I totally zoned out.
Oh my Lord.
I wasn't listening to anything you said.
You're just so jaded after a year of doing this stuff now. So,
I had a good joke too.
What was your joke? Lay it on me.
I have my FBI agent always watches. How you doing, Shane?
How you doing, Shane? So
I definitely didn't listen to a word you said.
You weren't paying attention to me.
I wasn't.
Now the world sees it. So
I'm going through the chat.
All right, here we go. Cryptid response. It's got a good one.
Are we live?
I don't think the satanic rituals draw the Dogman. I think the Dogman draw the satanist. We've talked about that in that spot in North Georgia, that we don't know if the people are causing the weird stuff to happen or if the weird stuff was happening and that drew the people up there. So, but there definitely seems to be some sort of just connection between the two. So
I've got one. Val SWPA was replying to Kevin and said that there's a Quaker cemetery about 20 miles from me that make an interesting Halloween night. Can I ask you a question? Why would a Quaker cemetery be interesting in particular? Is it because it's an old cemetery? Is it a weird cemetery? If you could answer that in the chat, I would like to know exactly why, because I'm just curious about that. So carry on.
Carry on.
Carry on.
What about the growl you captured when you captured the audio? I don't know which growl Hennessy's talking about. She's talking about the ones we caught in North Georgia, or if we caught, because people could hear some of the stuff that we caught on this last video.
Despite the freaking cicadas being so loud.
And the thing is that on those like full spectrum cameras, they're good at night, but they don't have the best microphones and there's no external microphone plug.
We have a possible solution that we've experimented with.
We're working on right now.
On this past week while we were out in the woods, I actually put a lapel mic on because I was editing that video that I released on Sunday, and oh my God, those cicadas are so freaking loud. So we have experimented with using a lapel mic on me, because you can hear Joe because he's really close to the camera, but you can't really hear me very well. So we're using a lapel mic, and I'm trying to sync everything up because it sounds great with a lapel mic. But we heard what sounded like a voice this past week when we were out in the woods, and it like whispered in my ear, and you heard it at the same time.
I thought it was you, and you thought it was me, and it was like a woman hissing. Yeah, and I thought it was you, and I kept going, well, what are you going to say? And then you were just kind of like, did you say something? So, all right, anyway. Yeah. Clavsby Rhodes, how confident am I that Jessi would be able to draw fire and hit her target should she be attacked by a monster? Probably better than I would, because Jessi keeps up with her firearms training better than I do. So All right, Kevin Clove, you ever ran into any rake reports? We have something like that here on Prince Edward Island that haunts the old train tracks. We haven't really ever got anything like that before. We've gotten like Bigfoot reports, Dogman reports, weird lights, hauntings, the occult and cult stuff, but we've never got anything like that before, like the white crawler type things, or like the goblins. We've never even gotten any like little people reports. We just ran into that on our own.
Yeah.
What might be possible, like Cherokee little people. So no, we've never really had anything like that before. Hellbent hollered diapers.
Jesus. This
Christ.
is the worst marketing
Jesus
group I've
Christ.
ever seen.
I want to see that merchandise pitch. You know what I'm saying?
We're going through the chat right now. Hey, take this time
to hit the like button.
Hit the like button.
Hit that like button.
Make sure you hit that like button.
Fleck was a cave explorer before the divorce. She got all the caving equipment. So
Good riddance to bad rubbish. Yeah, we're going down.
Scott Yeager's got it. We're better than most channels because we cover all the strange stuff. Cryptids to UAPs to cocaine bear. Cocaine Dogman, technically, is what we were covering.
We did go see Cocaine Bear.
We did go see Cocaine Bear, but
before he was famous with the movie. He was just famous in the underground scene.
Well, I guess not today. Spawn's really going off about my dumper tonight. So
yeah. He's trying to make me jealous. I've seen that tiny hiney.
Gracie talked about that video with the thermal, freaked her out. Yeah, we don't know what that was, man. I mean, I don't know what it was, upright and it was hot. So, but it's in an area where we found what looked like Bigfoot footprints, man. I mean, we found more. We always talk about that. Out of everything that we've experienced, most of what we've experienced could be called like paranormal activity in the woods, right?
Yeah.
That's mostly what we've kind of experienced. So that's why we carry all these like freaking like ghost hunter tools and all that. But Bigfoot stuff, it's been pretty rare up until the South Carolina stuff for us. So,
we came out looking for Bigfoot. That was our first intention.
And then went in a real weird direction with it. So well, Barton's still on the road there. Barton's driving back from the Dogman conference.
Going through the chat.
Pork Chop Express, 1999.
Nice.
Just found your channel and I'm hooked. Have y'all ever investigated the Cherokee legends of Spearfinger, Judaculla, or Sulkalu? I'm really interested in that.
Yes, we have looked into all of those. I'm from Western North Carolina. So if you guys are familiar with Judaculla Rock, it is.
They're probably not.
Okay, so I'll go into that. So Judaculla Rock is it's near Western Carolina University. It's outside of Silva, North Carolina, and it is one of the best preserved, biggest petroglyphs. And nobody knows who carved them, when they were carved, but it's a beautiful giant rock just in this field. It's on private property, but you can go and check it out. So if you're ever near Western Carolina University or Silva, North Carolina, go to Judaculla Rock. It's really beautiful. My family is actually from right around where Judaculla Rock is, right over the mountain. From there is where my dad's side of the family is from. So we've been up to Judaculla Rock a couple of times. Now on Judaculla Rock is this very mysterious carving of what appears to be a handprint.
I'm pulling that up right now. So
are you going to show it?
Yeah, I'm going to show it.
Okay. It appears to be a handprint
or an octopus.
But it has 7 fingers. And this kind of adds to the theory that these Bigfoot or these mountain giants could possibly be Nephilim because of the 7 fingers on the hand in this really strange handprint.
It's going to be small, but we'll see if I can try to get it on here.
It is very
Not too
small.
big, but that's best I can
Yeah.
find for it. It's a 6-fingered. Is it 6 or 7? I thought it was 6-fingered.
7. You see that little nub on the side?
Oh, it's got the. I forgot about the nub.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
all right.
Yeah. Always don't forget about the nub now.
Always.
But
remember the nub.
they say that Judicala Sukulu is like a slant-eyed mountain giant. There's a couple of tales that have to do with that. And they also say that he dwells in Devil's Courthouse, which is off of the Blue Ridge Parkway up there. But that's a really cool legend and a really cool story. Spearfinger is a sort of an elemental in a way.
Cherokee witch.
This Cherokee elemental witch that dines on the livers of the unlucky that stray too far from the tribe. So we have a plan for an investigation that would involve Spearfinger, but we are not ready to do that yet. I think we're going to do that down the line.
There's a particular time of the year, right?
There's a particular time of the
Okay.
year in which you can do it because she comes out at a certain time of the year, because she would come out and take the livers of the braves at a certain time of year. But it's a very involved investigation that I have planned out, and it's big and intense. So when we do that, you guys are going to love it. It's going to be a multi-video series, but we're not ready to do it yet. But yes, and that is that.
Thank you for that, Pork Chop Express.
Oh.
So a couple of ones that we had come through here. Linda wanted to know, Dogman, North Georgia, like Blood Mountain, North Georgia? Fairly close to that. Blood Mountain's got some activity around it.
Mhm.
And, you know, if it didn't already have a good enough name there.
Don't they do seer training out near Blood Mountain?
Yeah, they used to. I don't know if they're still doing it or not. But yeah, they were doing seer training out there. Ray, last time you were out was incredibly intense for me. It was dark as heck. Do you plan on doing that again? We did it this past weekend, and we'll do it this upcoming weekend again.
Yeah.
So yes, we're going to be experimenting. We're going to mix it up a little bit. Some nights we're going to go like white light and just talk normally and just go and see if that attracts anything.
Now that we're doing videos and putting out and producing these videos for every outing, we got to mix it up, I guess.
Well, that we want to see what happens with it. So just
because
like going out without scouting the area.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
so.
like, I'm thinking because we're doing it so much, we're going to be able to mix it up. We're going to be able to experiment with how we do stuff, because it seems like when we do some things, everything's real quiet. We do other things, things kind of ramp up. So we're going to have to go out there and really experiment with what we do and maybe come up with some new ideas for stuff to try out in the woods. You know, I think that'd be cool.
Jimmy, if Sasquatch got aggressive and attacked, how would you defend yourself? You know, due to their size, they're nearly indestructible. I don't think anybody knows that. That's like the quandary with all of this stuff, is that A, you don't have hunters coming out of the woods carrying, you know, Sasquatch bodies, you know, one on either end of a stick, tied up the wrists and the feet, you know, I just shot this thing. But on the other hand, if they're just these unkillable, just killing machines, then why do they hide from people? Why are they so reclusive and secretive? If they were invincible, why didn't they predate mankind into existence? You know, why didn't, when the Europeans landed on North America, why didn't they just find Sasquatch and no indigenous peoples, because they had already been just basically wiped out and eaten at that point? There's something about them that there's obviously some reason they try to stay reclusive. There's something holding them back. So one of the theories that I always have is that you notice that a lot of the stories of the Native Americans, they talk about cannibal giants. They take your women and your children. They, you know, will come into the village when the men are out hunting, and like, you know, they will just these cannibal giants. And then all of a sudden, when firearms kind of got big on the scene, you know, when the Europeans brought over firearms, now all of a sudden you've got these, you know, those who run and hide, you know, they're more shy and reclusive. It's almost like maybe they weren't necessarily worried about Stone Age weaponry, but they were worried about firearms.
Kind of what's going on with the UAP situation now. We kind of are able to punch back a little bit,
maybe. So So I don't know. I mean, some of the stories say that they're resistant to gunfire and all of that. Well, that's not an ape. You know, you can kill a big ape with a gun. You can shoot elephants with guns and take them down. You know, I mean, the handguns we carry are what grizzly guides carry. You know, 10 millimeter with hard cast ammunition. So we don't know that. That's my thing, is that a lot of the stuff that's repeated a lot, we don't know. It's talked about a lot, but I don't know. There's more questions than answers when a lot of this stuff is. So
Grace W said there's a church in North Georgia where they've been having a bunch of miracles for the last 5 years.
Did you write that down?
I did. Could you email me, Grace, some info on that? I did write that down. So, because that's very interesting to me.
Red Wolf, market pitch, partner with someone to make a Hellbent Holler edition knife.
Yeah.
We got just the guy.
Papa Bear?
Papa Bear, yeah, Papa Bear knives. So, all right, we might eventually do that. I wanted to put this up real quick. Squatch me out. I've had some wicked, weird experiences down here in Green Swamp in Central Florida. You guys should check out the area at some point. I think Central Florida Bigfoot's been in Green Swamp before, has he? Before
he
the
can
corridor?
tell us he's on there.
Before the corridor?
He's in the old Chatteroony. We're not going to Florida until it's the middle of winter.
Hey, Ray, $9.99. Thank you. A few bucks towards your hat cam setup. That I'm probably going to build out of spare parts, but now we are probably going to need a mount. So thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing what y'all uncover this next year. I've been recommending your channel to my friends and family. Keep up the great research. Thank you so much for that, Ray. Thank you for the donation and then just kind of spreading the word about it, man. So we've been fighting the YouTube algorithm. We don't do like thumbnails with us doing what's the face they always do? We don't do thumbnails with like that. So we're already kind of behind the 8 ball as far as like growing the channel. And we also kind of like try to take a rational view of irrational stuff as much as we can. So
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, anything y'all can do to kind of help spread the word, we'd really appreciate it. So does anybody know for sure why the Georgia Guidestones exploded?
So the one has a good theory on it.
This is the guy that does one-on-one podcasts.
Yeah,
which
we did a show with him. I don't know when that's coming out, but we did an interview with him. It's going to come out on his channel at some point. But he has an interesting theory that I like, that it's part of the revelation of the method, that they're showing you what they're doing out in the open, and it's part of the ritual. And I think, what he was saying with that too is that the exploding of the Georgia Guidestones was part of the ritual. It's the end of the ritual, that it has all of this focus on it for all these years. And then the explosion is part of the ritual to make it come about. So I like that. I like that theory. Not that it's good. It's not a good thing, but it's definitely plausible.
Wizard Moon they were talking about Judiculla, 6-fingered redheaded giants. When we were on Night Callers, Lauren did she talk about that on the air?
No.
It wasn't? Okay.
No, that was after.
After, okay. So, but that's kind of like, it's interesting to me. What really gets me though is the extra fingers and then the extra teeth. A lot of these giants supposedly had double rows of teeth. And that's what you're seeing show up in a lot of these like AI generated images are characters with like extra fingers and then extra teeth. We've talked about that in the past. I think we talked about it on a Dark Dive, didn't we? That maybe this was the Nephilim or something like that.
Coming to the surface? Coming
to the surface, or trying to materialize in the physical world through the use of, that's a Not Today Saban topic right there. But
I love that. I was listening to that Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp episode, and I had to tell Joe, I was like, Joe Rogan has taken your theories and your ideas.
Well, about which one?
We're an incubator
for AI. That's the only reason we're here, is to bring AI into existence.
Joe Rogan, I know that you watch the show every week, okay, but you need to give Joe some credit here, all right?
Wizard's Path, do you recommend any of the Psionics Aurora camcorders for UAP filming? I'm
yes.
considering getting one. That's what we got the Brown Mountain Lights with. Now, we have the Sport model, which was just because we got it cheap when it came out. We got it like really cheap. Now they've got an Aurora Pro, which is supposedly slightly better, but the one thing that it really excels at is it has longer recording time. You're limited to smaller SD cards in the Aurora Sport. I think you can put up to like, I don't know, what is the half a terabyte or whatever into the pros, which means that you won't have to stop and change SD cards out like we have to do right now. We'll probably, I keep waiting to see if one goes on sale to get the pro.
Well, if we get that pro, guess what we're doing?
Brown Mountain Lights again.
Going back to the Brown Mountain Lights.
So, but it's, yeah, I mean, it's weird because in certain things they don't, we got them because we were seeing these weird lights all the time in the woods that we've been talking about on the spook lights, the witch lights.
Yeah.
And we couldn't pick them up with our crappy night vision camcorder that we were using. So we got the psionics, but it's a monocular, meaning you got to have it up to your eye. You know, there's no view screen on it like a camcorder where I can just kind of hold it and look at it. You can hook it up to an app on your cell phone, but it's kind of buggy sometimes. It's a little clumsy. But we got that, and then we ended up getting the Phasm cams, and those do a really good job of picking up a lot of the lights that are close up. But that psionics really excelled at the Brown Mountain Lights. That was like the perfect tool for it. So yeah, if you're thinking about it for UAP stuff, and we will probably get the Pro when I see it on sale somewhere. We've got some big equipment expenditures coming up. We've got to get a new night vision camcorder, a new spectrum analyzer because the one wonked out, and that. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting that, I would highly recommend it at this point. So
episode 477 of Dogman Encounters is Fairplay, South Carolina.
oh, okay.
I lived in Fairplay as a kid.
She does live in Fairplay as a kid, so
Far play. We've gotten hot dogs at that Love's truck stop before. Got that dog in me.
Got that dog in me. So all right. What we got? Whoa. Ghetto Yeti. One of our family friends named Gail Ross, who's a Cherokee storyteller, has good info on Spearfinger. Hey, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Yeti, if you would, if she would mind, we would love to speak to her. We have got some people that are tribal members, but it sounds like she might have a real good handle on what's going on.
Did I miss something here? Because Michael Rome said they can't make a half-assed decent Dogman documentary without putting Hellbent Holler in it. I don't blame them. Y'all made the show worth it.
I don't know which show.
What are you referring to? Michael Rome, please let us know.
He might be talking about the Small Town Monsters thing that we're going to be doing. So
yeah, we will be doing that.
Might be talking about that Small Town Monsters thing. Now, you know the plan for when we do the stuff with Small Town Monsters, because they've announced it, we can talk about it openly. We are going to grab some of them and make them go into the woods at night by ourselves. You know, no camera crews, just us, taking to some sketchy areas of the LBL and let them witness some of the stuff firsthand.
I say we go maybe to where that tent areas or something.
Yeah, try to go into that tent. Oh, yeah. So
Class V roads. Jessi, can you suggest a foliage route in Western North Carolina for my wife and I to take in October where we won't see a lot of tourists? The leafers are many. There's a lot of leafers.
A lot of leafers.
I avoid the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's beautiful up there, but it's going to be a lot of people. You know, actually, I do have a cool place for you to go. It crosses under the Blue Ridge Parkway, so you can take the parkway to it or whatever. It's an area we go to sometimes that we really love. My family cemetery is actually off of this road, but it's Lake Logan Drive. That's outside of Bethel, North Carolina, Crusoe, North Carolina. But take Lake Logan Drive either up to the Parkway or down from the Parkway and then go down into Bethel, down Lake Logan Drive. But Lake Logan Drive is really beautiful. It's a beautiful little route. So I do suggest you take that.
A couple things I want to put here real quick is Class V Road says pistols are useless on Dogman and Sasquatch. Well, they're not useless on grizzly bears with good shot placement, the right ammunition. And so why would that be different? That means maybe they are not entirely natural. Well, the ammunition we have is not entirely, if you're going to get into a supernatural aspect of it, then there's other stuff we have that would be effective against that. You know what I'm saying? Paul M follows up with my thing too. If they're indestructible, then why are we the top apex predator? Why don't they come and go as they please? Why don't they walk down the middle of small town Main Street at 3 p.m. on a Friday, just grab people and walk back into the woods with them?
Yeah.
People are shooting at them. Bullets are ricocheting off. There's nothing we can do. There's something about it. There's something there. There's something that keeps them in check somehow. So
Enzo Cyril says if it bleeds,
we can kill it. Enzo Cyril, my boy. So
my boy. All
right. So
lots of if it bleeds, if we can kill it. Boy, we've cultivated an audience.
We've cultivated the right people here, I think, man. So I think we have cultivated the right people. Saban's heading out. If you haven't already head out, I'm going to message you later. So
get to the chopper.
Man, the chat's blowing through.
I know. I'm trying to catch up too.
Red Wolf wants to know, as a redhead, he always wondered why the giants across multiple cultures and legends are always redheaded. You got anything for that?
They got no souls.
I knew you would make a ginger got no soul joke.
Sorry. Predictable.
Matt Keenan.
You want something well thought out?
Have you heard anything new with the Peru village attacks?
No.
I haven't, but I'm going to be honest with you. We've also been insanely busy, but I think that's a big story. It seems like when that really clumsy cover story of
everybody just dropped it.
Illegal cartel miners with 7-foot tall bulletproof alien costumes and hoverboards that I guess nobody else on the planet has, but yet these, cartel miners have got a hold of those. And they have money or they have scientific abilities to have these hoverboards, but they still need to get involved in illegal gold mining on a very small scale. That's just necessary for some reason. And they're the cartel, so
hoverboards don't pay the bills.
Well, I mean, if you had that technology, that's big money, man. Nobody's got that.
Are you hovering into the bank?
Yeah, hovering all the way to the bank. And the cartel, not to mention that they would just, if they wanted to scare people away, I think the cartel's got a pretty good handle on how to scare people away.
With all the beheading and stuff.
Yeah, with the beheading and all that stuff. So, and then even that picture that they had, that video of that guy with no face, because they were calling them the face peelers. And people were like, well, that's just what the cartel's doing. They're holding people face down in piranha-filled waters, and the piranhas eat their faces off. And I'm going, so they're doing that, and that's not scaring them off. So they're going, okay.
Bring out the hoverboards.
Bring out the hoverboards, guys. Feeding people's faces to the fishes ain't working. It's time to go to plan B with the hoverboards. So it's weird because that cover story came out, and it's like everybody wanted a cover story because normal people don't want that to be true. So normal people are going to take whatever they can get to try to keep the lie up a little bit longer, that like weird stuff like that's not going on. So once that came out, it just seemed to vanish. So
all I hear is clicks. We're just clicking.
Right, so gingers have always been strange. So somebody wanted to know, happy anniversary. How did you guys meet, or how did you get together? We met in New Orleans when we were living down there.
It's not our anniversary.
Not our anniversary.
It's the anniversary of the show.
So
yeah, our anniversary is Walpurgis Nacht.
Yes, April. So
but yes.
But it's the anniversary. It's 1 year anniversary of the show.
Yes.
So
it's the anniversary of us all getting together here.
Lisa said the first time she saw the Brown Mountain Lights was during your live, and they're amazing. Appreciate all you're doing. We did not expect anything like that. We expected we did it kind of on the fly. We just kind of did it on like a whim. We went up there and we threw some equipment in there. We went up there, we scouted around, we found the areas that most people said to go to. We picked the more remote of the two and went up there, and we were expecting the little lights that you saw in the woods that we caught at first. We weren't expecting those giant like balls of light coming out of the mountain and floating around. And you can tell by Jessi's voice how excited and unexpected it was. But yeah, we weren't. We loved that, man. It's crazy. So
What the Flock said, do a raffle to win a night investigation trip. Hell no. Hell no. We'll be our raffle winner will be dead in a ditch or something.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So Randy Simpson, have any places or phenomena that you want to investigate but haven't? I would like to get out to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Some places in Oklahoma and some of the stuff we've heard in Oklahoma.
I'd like to go to the Ozarks.
Yeah, Oklahoma and Ozarks are probably what you're going to see maybe within the next year from us.
As a big, like,
yeah.
That would be
The only thing is that we
rad.
can't fly because we have a lot of stuff to take.
We got a lot of equipment.
We got a lot of equipment, and we have a lot of equipment that is valuable and small, and I just don't want to fly with it. And it's weird stuff that people don't normally fly with. Like if we were to take our EMP pumps and they went under the
EMF.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, the EMF pumps, and they went under.
We'd be in a lot of trouble with EMP.
P pumps. Yeah, Jesus. We're probably on some watch list after me saying that. The EMF pumps.
Shane knows we're cool.
And they, if they went under the X-ray machine, they would probably just shut the entire airport down and evacuate it. So we have to drive is the only thing.
It's the clock.
Yeah.
We're trying to stir up ghosts.
Kentucky Boy has been leaving a lot of good comments on our videos. Have you guys done any collabs with Tony Merkel? Nope. We have never spoken to him, never talked to him. We have some friends that have gone on his show, but we have not had any interaction with him.
Did you ever, what the Flock? What is TMFINR?
Show that thing, because I asked him like that and he never answered.
Tiffany Gomez, that mother is not real.
That's what it is. Oh, good Lord. Okay. Good Lord, man. All right.
Look at the brain on that one.
Yeah. All right. Damn it.
You're welcome. Joe asked me that earlier, and I was like, I don't know.
Rob S. Alex Petikoff from Small Town Monsters seems to enjoy the chest rig that Jessi. Yep. He does enjoy that. I mean, we wear those like out constantly. The only downside is they get a little hot in the summertime. They get a lot hot in the summertime. But,
so you get the boob sweat for sure.
Yeah, but we carry packs with pack belts, you know, so it's hard to have a gun on your hip at that point. And
good night, Paul M.
Good night, Paul. So
yeah, they get hot in the summer, boy.
Ghetto Yeti says piranhas rarely attack people. Yeah, but what's even more rare are
that they just eat the face and not the rest of the body.
Or what's even more rare are cartel-backed illegal miners with access to like DARPA level technology. You know what I'm saying?
What if they were just really into Back to the Future?
Really into Back to the Future. So
Ozarks, woot woot, Missouri Broad. Yeah, I want to go to the Ozarks.
Somebody said the Sierras. Yeah, the Sierras would be awesome, but again, we've got to keep it within like obviously going to like Alaska. Parts of Alaska would be amazing, but we've got to keep it within realism. We don't have like a network backing us, giving us, you know, unlimited budget to go places. So
Ivan Ramirez says, you guys ever come to North Georgia?
All the time. So
yes.
All of the time. Although we've been focusing on South Carolina lately, we do.
But Halloween might be a North Georgia situation. Who knows? What's happened? Hello, John Atkins.
Hello, John Atkins. So.
That's funny.
All right, somebody had asked earlier what a wampus cat is. My family saw a weird demon cat behind our shop in Ashtabula. Am I pronouncing that right? Ashtabula, Ohio.
Ashtabula,
Ohio. Is that right?
Ashtabula.
Have you heard that before? Is that a big town? How have you heard that before?
Ashtabula?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're just making it up.
No, anyway. I'm not. It's Ashtabula, right? It's Ashtabula.
My sister said its mouth dropped open unnaturally large and it looked like it was grinning at her. You do hear that with the reports of wampus cat.
Yeah.
Wampus cat's supposed to be a very large, it's not a black mountain lion or not a black cougar. It's a large demon cat, basically, that has almost human-like features in some of the stories. So yeah, that would match right up along with the folklore of it. So All right.
Close.
We do need a knife sponsor. We just need a sponsor, period.
Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight, Pulsar Thermal Company.
Pulsar. Yeah.
Pulsar,
Psionics.
Psionics. So.
Ashtabula. Somebody says yes and somebody says close. Ashtabula. Ashtabula. You know what? I know what it is.
What is it?
Why I sort of know that pronunciation. In Pendleton, South Carolina, there's a plantation called the Ashtabula Plantation.
Aha.
There
we
you
go.
go.
So
I've heard it before.
there we go. Marcus asked for a knife check. Normally, I would say we already did, but it's Marcus. We're gonna do it.
Marcus, we're just doing
Marcus
this
for
the first time ever on this show.
He's got a lot of clout. So I'm carrying. Can I do the joke again? Can I make my joke?
Yeah,
again? Second time.
Since he missed the great joke before.
This is a Work Tough Gear Sylvanus, and I've got it because I like recurves, and it's got anus in the title. So there you go. But yeah, it's about a 6.5 inch blade on it. So
I've got a SE3. I have a bunch of SE3s. It's my favorite fixed blade knife, Jessi with an SE. And then I've got a Armitage carry, really fancy Armitage carry sheath for it.
Those are the ones that you see attached to her chest rig when she's wearing a knife on the chest rig. So like I said, normally we would say we did it, but Mark has got some clout. Mark is pretty much funding this operation at this point.
Penny Van's asking, is it true that the Scion equipment doesn't pick up orbs? We've captured all kinds of lights and strange lights in the woods with it.
It's easier with the Phasm Action Cam because you can kind of look at it and then look at it's just like a GoPro. You're looking at the screen and
that has automatic focus.
Yeah, but the Psionics, you've got to manually focus in and you're looking through a very small viewfinder. So if you're trying to find stuff, it gets a little difficult. But when you find it, it works great on stuff like that. It's really good. It's better than the Phasm, but the Phasm goes into the ultraviolet range. That was the only real difference with them. So
you're getting them riled up with the anus talk again. Emotional sponsors.
Oh Lord. FOTW, I can laser engrave your logos on them for giveaways. Got a laser engraver out there. That might come in handy.
Good night, Tristan Myers.
Yeah, we knew last week we broke 400, actually. This week, obviously, being a holiday week.
We're surprised we got what we got.
We got, but hey, we're getting more people. Just put that up real quick.
Kentucky Boy also suggests, along with Oklahoma and the Ozarks, another good destination would be Mississippi. A lot of encounters down there.
We had a running joke for a few weeks about Taylor, Mississippi, because we were going to go to Taylor, Mississippi to go investigate because that is like a Dogman hotspot. You remember that? So because
my God,
it was a Dogman hotspot. Whoops, let me do that, Jet. And we had a couple people just get incensed and livid on.
You know what? We were in West Virginia we had just done the West Virginia conference and we did our show from the lobby.
Is that where they were? Because we had two people that were literally.
We were doing this show from the lobby.
Infuriated, telling us we couldn't go to Taylor's, Mississippi, that they arrest everybody from out of state that goes there. If they see people who aren't locals there, they'll arrest you immediately and impound your vehicle and toss you in. And we're looking it up online and we're going, there's a popular wedding venue there that people from all over the country go to get married. And I'm going, we think there's activity there, but obviously there's certain things. The story has grown to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So we had a thing going on that a bunch of us were going to get together and we were going to rush Taylor, Mississippi, that they can't arrest us all.
They can't stop us all.
They can't stop us all, just like the Area 51. So we were going to have a rush Taylor, Mississippi. That might still happen. So.
Oxford, Mississippi is north of there. So we could all go out in Oxford, get pretty hammered, show up in Taylor.
Ring limits.
Taylor, and then rush in. And then demand the truth of the Dogman.
Ivan Ramirez, when's the next video? We just released a video on Sunday. Well, we caught some weird thermal stuff. It may be something, it may be nothing. And then we we're out this past week. We found some weird prints. Pretty weird prints.
Yeah. So I'll have
That's-
that done. I'll have that edited down
Mhm.
by it'll be out Sunday at noon. We've been doing these Sunday at noon releases, and you guys have been kind of enjoying that. So a little Sunday treat. So Sunday at noon will be another video.
Jim Thompson would love for you both to come to Oregon. We get you a cabin and even a pond you can bathe in. Hospitality, Oregonian hospitality there. So
Care for a dip in the pond?
dip in the pond.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what else we got here. Oh, okay. So yeah, they understand it's the anniversary of the show. Wondered how long, but wink, wink, did you meet around this topic? No, we met in New Orleans. We were both living in the French and working in the French Quarter. And you were actually right outside the French Quarter at the time.
I lived in Mid-City.
Yeah. So we met down there, and then we got tired of New Orleans, and we were both from the Appalachians. She was from North Carolina. I was from like the West Virginia border. We decided to move up here, move back to it. And then Jessi was very much into the paranormal sort of stuff. I was always like into physical stuff like Bigfoot. And we kind of decided to,
our powers combined.
This part of the Appalachians has just got a lot of like dark, weird, magical kind of like folklore to it. We decided to go out and start looking for it. And a lot of this has just been as my horizons have expanded, and I'm starting to admit that the world's a lot weirder than I originally thought. And so we've just kind of just jumped into this wholeheartedly at this point. So, but that's how we met in New Orleans. So. Penny Van, I don't know which state they're talking about, but why are all the active places in the states that are hot, full of poisonous snakes and bugs, wrought with predatory animals, and basically places where everything goes to die?
You know, I wish we could just investigate some hauntings at
like a resort or something.
A very nice resort,
like a 5-star hotel with like a
you know what I would
really
like,
good room service.
A really nice haunting at the Venetian in Vegas.
Yes, indeed. There you
I
go.
love the Venetian. So
wake us up around 3 p.m. and we'll go out there. Our buddy Quartz is here. Happy 1-year anniversary, guys. You give me new inspiration for being out in the field.
Hello, Quartz Griner.
Quartz and his group's got a thing coming up. I saw them post earlier on Facebook. So they got I think their yearly like meet and greet investigation there. So the Flock says y'all start networking with all these Hellbenders. We can investigate half the planet at this point. We do have people from like
everywhere.
So Central South America, all over Europe at this point. Australia. Ozzy Baza was in the chat earlier. I don't think Asia or Africa where we don't have. So.
Marcus Aurelius asks, how prevalent are vampires in New Orleans?
The stories of them are very prevalent. There are a lot of people who wish they were vampires in New Orleans.
A lot of psychic vampires, that's for sure.
There are definitely psychic vampires in New Orleans. There were, and I've mentioned this before, and I will tell you that there were rumors about it, and we'll leave it at that. There were rumors about it that the New Orleans Police Department, the NOPD, had some run-ins with what you would call vampires after Katrina and the chaos after Katrina. So those were rumors that were going around. But guess what? There was a lot of rumors going around, Ben. So
a lot of hearsay.
Yes.
Eric Leifson says, what is your favorite folklore in your area that you have yet to investigate?
Probably Spearfinger for you, right? So
Spearfinger is the yet to investigate. I've always been obsessed with the Brown Mountain Lights, and we are not far from the Brown Mountain Lights. And we never went and checked them out. We just never checked them out. We'd been here for a long time and never checked them out. And Joe and I it was like about to be a weekend. Joe was very frustrated with work, and he's like, I was like, well, let's get out of town this weekend. Let's not do any work. Let's not do any cryptid stuff. Let's just go out of town.
Let's just go out of town. Let's have a weekend.
Let's be normal people and take a weekend off. And I took us up to the Linville Gorge area because we wanted to go to our favorite knife maker's store. We went and bought knives, and then we went and saw the Brown Mountain Lights. So that was something that was really on my paranormal bucket list. And we got that freaking amazing footage. So, yeah.
And then meandering around with Johnny Jans, would you meander around the Pine Barrens for some Jersey Devil action? Yeah, I'd go to the Pine Barrens.
I think that'd be really
I don't know
cool.
if we could carry firearms and there
No,
or not. I don't know if we could. So that would be
no.
that would be the
That's-
only thing.
In New Jersey, they put you under the jail.
Yeah, probably. And then courts had said you guys need to come to Southeast Oklahoma. That's exactly where I'd like to go to eventually.
Yeah.
It's becoming a hotbed of Dogman encounters. Already been a hotbed of Bigfoot encounters. Yeah, we'll probably end up doing Oklahoma the next year. We'll probably
PC asked Joe, "What do you think about the Bigfoot mapping project?"
I think that it's novel and that's great. I don't think that there's like migration routes. My personal thought process is right now is you're not dealing with natural animals that are dependent upon food sources, water, anything like that. But that's just my personal opinion. And I always say that we need to approach this like holistically from like every single aspect and avenue. If somebody wants to go set in a clearing in a forest and stack crystals up and play a harp, try to draw them in, knock yourself out, man. I ain't going to do it, but who knows? Maybe that'll work. I'm not going to do it, so somebody needs to. But I think the mapping project is something people have done heat maps for years with this stuff. The stuff he's doing is really it's good. It's good work. I mean, if those of you haven't checked out the Bigfoot mapping project, check it out. He looks at like green corridors for possible like migration routes, and it's
a good just one resource. You know,
Oh, yeah, it's
everything's
great.
piled in there.
he's getting extremely thorough and like putting in documented sightings.
Yeah,
and
we
everything
went
like
when
that,
we went
so.
to the URI.
Mhm.
We referred to that for
Yeah.
you know, looking at where the sightings in the URI were. We referred to his map for that.
Our big thing is that right now we don't need 1,000 people all doing the same thing. We need 1,000 people that are all doing different stuff to approach this. And you know what? Maybe I look at that and go, that's the craziest damn thing I ever saw. Who knows, man? Maybe that'll be the thing to break the whole thing wide open one of these days. At this point, I have my own pet theories, but none of us really know what the hell's going on. So anybody who's doing that, that's like the Map in Black guy that has like maps of just everything, UFO sightings, ghosts, Bigfoot, and just, you know, so you can look at it and see all manners of like high strangeness and where those concentrations are at.
Yeah.
So,
Country Ocean Girl says, run into any voodoo in New Orleans.
Yep.
One of Joe's good friends was a voodoo priest.
he was the head of the biggest voodoo temple in New
Yeah.
Orleans, and I didn't know about. I knew him for years, and I didn't know about it until we were out one day at a bar, and some chick was calling him like Papa, Poppy, and I'm going, what sort of weird sexual thing you got going on here, man? No, she's part of his temple, and he's like, I just don't like to talk about it. And I'm like, you know, and I'm going, dude, like I've known you for like over 10 years at that point. And I'm just going, he's just like, that's two separate, he's leading a double life, man.
I have
But
a
yes.
friend, one of my good friends down there was a Santorian priest. So
Mhm.
I knew a lot of people that did like
There are
Santeria.
literally people down there who are like, New Orleans has got such a weird kind of rap. Like, it wasn't like American Horror Story. They had like the witches season there and
Mhm.
everything like that, and then all the vampire stuff. But there are legit people down there who have what you could call, like, I guess, the ability to affect. I don't know. That's witchcraft. They can do witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people do stuff down there that's like none of it good. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I've seen people's lives ruined by that stuff,
You
man.
talk about Nina?
Huh?
Nina.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, don't say her name, man. I don't want that. I don't want that gaze turning on me. So, Federation System says there's no voodoo in New Orleans. I beg to differ. So, I beg to differ. Matt Keenan, pagan liberal scumbags aren't allowed in Taylor, Mississippi. Okay.
You know what? They'll know me by my blue hair.
Yes, exactly. So, Kentucky Boy's got a good thing. We never released the second part of that Black Circle thing, did we?
Where we went back.
Yeah.
No,
That's sitting in the vaults there, man.
I've never released that.
You know what we need to do is we need to go up there and
Black Circle Part 2. I have
go
not
up there
released
and do a.
because you know what happens in that.
Yeah, I know exactly what happens in that. So yeah. We might release it. Yeah, we'll end up releasing it. We may not. Yeah, we'll just it'll be coming out. So.
I forget about Black Circle Part 2.
Mhm.
Oops. It's been there. It's in my Premiere Pro.
Darkstar 915. Remember that time when the Indian Army captured Yeti footprints in the Himalayas? A lot of people mocked them, and it became water under the bridge. And these were troops that were stationed up there. So they knew what tracks the local wildlife left in the snow. And they were going, these are Yeti tracks, man. But yet people who live in like Miami on the other side of the world, who've never been in the snow or the Himalayas, or just sit there and go, that's just an Arctic hare. That's a hare bouncing through the snow. And then the snow has melted and then caused the impression of footprints. But
yeah. You know, I was thinking, we keep talking about all these places we want to go check out. You remember that story that was on, what was that, Expedition something, or it was on History Channel, where they were talking about the Bigfoot stepped on that board with the
that was in
screws?
Monster Quest, and that was
Monster Quest.
at Lake. Oh God, somebody out there will know what I'm talking about. They had,
You know, you can rent those cabins, right?
yeah, it was bear deterrence. It was deterrence for bears to keep
Mhm.
bears from coming up to like the windows and all that. And
Or getting in there and wrecking shit. in the
yeah, and
cabin,
they something had stepped on it, and they apparently got weird DNA at. So
But you know, you can rent those cabins.
I didn't know you could rent those.
Mhm. I think I looked into that. Yeah.
Hmm.
But again, we can haul all this equipment on a plane.
Yep, we can't do it. So
Unfortunately.
Ginger Calabrese is still worried about our eternal souls and our safety. So, all right. So we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. So we're going to be wrapping up shortly.
I'm going to do last call right now.
Do last call for questions.
Last
comments.
Last call for alcohol.
Grim wants more dark dive diabolical hypotheses. We need to kind of do a follow-up on all of the Collins Elite, Jack Parsons, the aliens or demons type stuff for him. So here's a good one. Ray Provincial. On a typical research night, how many power banks do you go through? Glad you asked that, because that's something that when people talk about these like long investigations they do and everything like that, I'm always like, how do you guys keep them powered? And they're like, oh, we've got batteries for it. I'm going, that ain't enough. We have multitudes of those Ulanzi sticks that are external power banks. We usually go through 3 of those.
But everybody carries now.
Everybody carries now,
apparently.
man. So trendsetters, everybody's carrying that Phasm Cam Ulanzi setup that we came up with. But we will go through those, and then we each carry usually like a 20,000 milliamp hour like battery pack that we'll charge stuff off of, and then we keep a ammo can filled with power bricks, and then we have a jackery, and we just have like a ton of stuff. So, but generally what we'll do is we'll go through all 3 of our Ulanzis, and then usually
you can charge stuff we can charge stuff in our backpack. So if we go through a Ulanzi and need to charge it up, we can plug it up,
throw it in the
backpack, and then go on to the next one. That way, by the time you cycle through some stuff, you've charged other stuff, so you can cycle.
And that's just
back.
for cameras. If we're going out, we know we're going to be out for a long time, we'll go heavier on power bricks. And like Jessi said, we'll have like literally like a miniature charging station. We'll rubber band the plugs into the equipment so they don't come loose, and then we just charge it as we go.
And it's gotten a lot easier to charge stuff with the power bricks that we have now, instead of trying to. You remember we used to put the batteries into the charger and rubber band them in?
Yeah, that would not work. So
yeah.
Snellgrove Lake, I think, is what that is. Yes, somebody just got it. Snellgrove Lake. That's why they got it before I did, because I saw it and it didn't dawn on me at first.
Jimmy asks, do your friends and family support you, or do they think that you're loco? My mother watches every video we do and calls me at the end of it to go, oh my God. So
I talk about this stuff openly at work. I don't care. I mean, here's the deal. I thought all of this was crazy. I thought that there was a Bigfoot, it was a big ape, and that was it. And all this other stuff was just crazy talk. And it was overactive imaginations, misidentification of natural phenomenon, and just people flat out making crap up. Now I know that's not the case. So I don't really care if somebody tells me that sounds crazy. I just go, all right, I was right where you were a few years ago, man. I just, it just, all it takes is like one thing happening to you and you being honest with yourself and go, I'm not going to like lie to myself and say this was something that it's not. So, anyway.
Jeff F. Jeff F says, "Are either of you ex-military?"
I was in briefly between high school and college, so
No, I am not ex-military. I was a part of an elite group. No.
No, exactly.
No.
Hey, the Dooster is here. The
Hello,
the
Dooster.
Dooster was out with Elijah and Gabby Henderson in Bell Witch territory today.
Wearing a very fetching t-shirt.
Yeah, I saw that, wearing a Hellbent Holler t-shirt.
Very fetching attire.
Kentucky boys still talking about the. So what happens is that we touch that black circle, and that black circle, we have had everybody tell us that it's a solo stove. We have a couple of solo stoves. It's not a solo stove burn. It's not a fire. It's not a campfire remnant. There's no ash or char or burned wood there. I mean, if you've gone into the woods and you've actually made a campfire, and then even when you're done and you scatter it like you're supposed to, there's still remnants of it there. This was just scorched earth in a circle. It's not a lightning strike because there's trees above it. Okay. A lightning bolt didn't wend its way through the trees and hit the ground. And that's not what the ground looks like after a lightning strike anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had mentioned that it might be like a cauldron, and I'm going, so they had the fire inside the cauldron. I don't understand what it is. It's not that far from where we saw that light at, and the burning light. That portal open up, that UAP, whatever. We got some weird things on the cameras with it. Okay. Some cameras were showing stuff that other cameras weren't, and it didn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Those howls started up the moment I touched it. We went back later on and I'm messing with it and I got like sick. I felt like bad.
I stepped in scat again,
yes. But I got like sick and like it was weird. And then I got like pissed off because I felt that the sickness was somehow tied into that. But I felt like literally just like when I touched it, I felt like I don't know. It was just weird. But it was it's still a very weird spot. And we'll go back there, but we were becoming too predictable up there. And there's a human element involved up there as well. So we were going up there every weekend. We were going to the same places. And with that human element, we're being too predictable. We're going to like come back and our car is going to be gone one night or something's going to happen. So we'll end up going back up in there. But yeah, we'll do that second part up. All right.
Marcus Aurelius, what's on the grill for dinner tonight? Me. No.
So yeah.
We're getting a new grill.
Yeah.
So I will be cooking inside today and not setting myself on fire. So yeah, and I'm about to go make dinner. So we're doing
last call. Anybody got anything?
If anybody has anything, thank you for everybody who has participated in the chat tonight. Thank you guys for this past year. This has been a really cool, eye-opening year. We've really grown the channel a lot, and I think we're richer for the experience of getting to meet all of you people. And I'm looking forward to the event in October at Montgomery Bell State Park. I'm going to be, do you hear that screeching outside?
Yeah, I'm hearing something weird outside. We live in a neighborhood nowadays. We're not in the woods.
Yeah, we're not in the woods anymore.
So,
we live at a historic neighborhood now, but it's the ghosts.
The ghosts.
But at Montgomery Bell State Park, I'll be speaking October 14th. There'll be an event October 14th and 15th. I'll be speaking. It's the Tennessee Wildman and Cryptid Con. It's going to be a blast. Ron Moorhead is headlining the event. Martin Groves will be there. I will be there. Joe will be there. But
I'll be there pushing buttons on the computer for the slides during Jessi's talk. So,
yeah. So you guys come out to that. We really hope to meet a bunch of you out at that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And what else we got? It's been a great year. Yeah. Yeah.
It's been an
thank
awesome
you guys
year.
So much.
So we're going to call it.
Oh, I got my shofar.
Yes.
I would like to say I got my shofar. It's amazing. So thank you so much. I believe that came from Suki. Thank you so freaking much. That is really cool. It's going, it's already on. It's in my display.
We're going to take it out and blow it though in the woods.
We are going to take it out.
I got to figure out how to blow it first though.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But we've got it on display right now in our little mini museum. But yeah, we're going to take it out with us and we're going to experiment blowing the shofar. That can be one of our new experiments that we try out in the woods. That's going to be awesome.
So,
also, we got our clacking sticks. Thank you for those. We haven't opened them yet. They're still in the box, but they have arrived safely. Thank you so much. I love checking the P.O. box because we get weird stuff like shofars and Australian clacking sticks. I think that's really cool. Joe is the only one who can touch the clacking sticks. Women are not allowed to touch them. So we haven't opened those yet, but we'll let you guys know when we open those up.
The flock under the wire.
Thank you, What the Flock.
Indiana Jones did right before the gate came crashing down. So thank you for that, What the Flock. Appreciate it, buddy. We appreciate it. So Stingray says, blow the shofar just like a trumpet. I don't know how to blow a trumpet. So there we go. So, and then Christopher Lindbergh said, get some merch for your events. And we need to get merchandise. We're going to do this hat giveaway. Don't forget that. Make the comments afterwards. But
we will probably do a t-shirt order with Jacob.
Yeah.
Before Montgomery Bell, before the Tennessee Wildman. So we might have t-shirts at that.
Yeah, we'll probably have some t-shirts for that. But
I think we're gonna have t-shirts for that. So,
all right. Thanks,
Ghetto Yeti
folks.
is jealous of my shofar.
All right.
Shofar so good. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for this show. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. We love you. See y'all next week. Keep an eye out on Sunday at noon for the latest episode to drop. It's a night investigation. We do a little bit of day stuff, and we got some crazy footprints on that. So, and hopefully I got some audio of that weird hiss that I heard. So we will see when I'm doing that. So I am going to read up more about the shofar. I've just opened it. So,
all right, take us out.
All right. Good night. Have a wonderful evening. Y'all have a badass week. Stay productive.
Thanks for the past year.
Stay safe. Thank you so much for everything. I'm going to put up my cool little graphic and some music. You guys say goodbye to each other. Take care of each other. Be good out there and be good or be good at it. You know what I'm saying, kids? All right. Love y'all. Good night. Be safe.